Hello, it is the 1st of March, that means it is time for a TBR. There are quite a few books I'd like to get through this month. A bunch of them are rereads though, because I'm working on something. But I guess we'll start there because it's the simplest place to be. I'm currently doing a reread of the Shadowhunter Chronicles, and so this month I want to get through at least City of Ashes and City of Glass. I can tell you, I know that's definitely gonna happen. I'm already almost finished with City of Ashes. I started it like yesterday. I did want to put the entire Mortal Instruments series on this TBR. I think I can get through all of them, but I don't want to put the pressure on, so I want to get through at least 2 of them. I haven't reread the Mortal Instruments series specifically for a few years, and this reread is definitely interesting, but we'll talk about that more when I make that video. The next book I'd like to read in March is one that I started a few days ago and genuinely can already say is going to be one of my favourite books of all time, and that is This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal El-Mohtar and Max Gladstone. I am halfway through this book. I don't know if you can see my bookmark, but I read about a third of this in one sitting randomly one afternoon. I was picking out the books for this TBR and I thought I'd just read a few pages to see if I wanted to read it, and then I was sitting there for like 2 hours. This book is beautiful. I had heard that there was like maybe a romance, but it is maybe the most romantic thing I have ever read. Half of the story is told through these letters and it is just beautiful. But I can't wait to finish this book. I feel like I'm going to be recommending this to everybody I meet, but yeah, I really want to finish it. If you've never heard of it, this book is about 2 time agents who jump back and forth through time in different timelines to ensure certain events happen for their bosses. They develop this unlikely friendship through letters that they leave at different important sites, and it's just beautiful. Going into it, I knew that it was written in a very kind of lyrical, beautiful way, and it definitely is. This is incredible. Speaking of beautiful writing, the next book I'd like to finish is the Selected Poems of Emily Dickinson. I've definitely like flicked through. I've read poems here and there, but I would like to sit down and read it back to front. I really enjoy poetry, but I very rarely actually read it. But I think especially because of This Is How You Lose the Time War, I just want beautiful words right now, and I really love Emily Dickinson's poetry. I'll be honest, those are all the books that I like really want to read this month, and especially because of the Shadowhunter reread that I'm doing, I don't really want to add too many books to this TBR because like, I don't want to feel bad that I don't read them. But I've got 2 more here that are very much like maybe if I feel like it. I really do want to kind of get through my physical TBR. So the first one is My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otessa Moshfegh. I have heard a lot about this book, but I don't actually know what it's about. I bought it quite a while ago because I thought the cover was really pretty, and I know the general concept of like sleeping for a year or something. I don't actually know. This was quite popular online for a while, and I guess I kind of pair it in my head with Bunny by Mona Awad, and I don't know if it's because they both have like a very fluorescent pink or because they were both recommended in the same kind of videos on TikTok. But I do really want to get to this. I feel like this has been like the kind of like that girl book. I don't know anything about this book, but I'd love to get to it. And the last book that is on my TBR this month is one that I don't actually know like anything about, but a few people I know have read it and enjoyed it, and that is Herc by Phoenicia Rogerson. This, from what I know, is the story of Hercules but told kind of through the women in his life. Or maybe not the story of Hercules, but the story of the women in his life. I think that's really interesting. I love a good like new refreshing take on mythology, and also this cover is just really pretty. I've just realized looking in the viewfinder that there's like a lyre, like these kind of make the shape of that's pretty cool. This is some good graphic design. But yeah, those are the books I'd like to read. I want to talk a little bit more about my reading habits at the moment. I, for like a year now, have found it very difficult to read physical books. I will either sit down and read a whole book in a sitting, or I won't touch a physical book for months. audiobooks are the way I mostly read, which is why I've been doing a lot of rereading, because like I have the audiobooks, so I may as well. But I've known for a long time, and I've just decided to ignore it, that TikTok has been a total time sink for me. I'm not enjoying my time on there, and I'm still spending like many hours a day on TikTok. I set my phone up to kick me out after an hour, and I usually use that up before I'm out of bed in the morning, and then spend the whole day pressing 15 more minutes. And that's something I am not proud of, but it's just how it is. For the past 3 days, now this is still new. I'm not gonna say it's like done and fixed, but for the past 3 days, I have not used TikTok because I didn't delete the app, but I removed it from my home screen. And just that has made such a difference, because I can't just like kind of out of habit tap that part of the screen. I still am, but it's opening me into like Messenger or something. But it means that like when I'm in like a moment of monotony, or I'm bored, or I want some kind of escapism, I'm not going and watching like garbage videos that I'm not entertained by and are not good and just being advertised to. Instead, to be fair, I'm still on my phone. I'm like playing games on my phone, like the 10-year-old that I am. But also, because I want entertainment, I've been listening to my audiobooks more. And the other day, I sat down and read like a third of This Is How You Lose the Time War. Like, I want to shift the way I'm wasting my time, basically. The one thing I'm worried about is that like, I've made it clear I'm quite an anxious person, and when I get really stressed out, I like to forget that I'm a person and just like consume. And I don't know if books do the same thing for me, so we're gonna see how it goes. I've been not at all missing TikTok, which is really interesting. I'm not gonna pretend I'm not going on it, because I am opening the app, but I look at my notifications and I look at my messages on there, and that is it. I watch the TikToks that my friends send me, and that is all. I don't scroll endlessly, and it's wonderful. That's not to say I don't scroll on Instagram or on Tumblr. I've been using Tumblr so much lately. But I will say, in terms of just like consuming visual media, I've been using Pinterest a lot. I love Pinterest as a social media site because it's not social. You get to just like look at pretty things. It's great. But yeah, I'm hoping this continues throughout the next month, and I'll see. Maybe I'm going to find myself reading way more than usual. I tend to average about 4 books a month, so we'll see if I magically do way better than that, and if I manage to get back into reading physical books, which would be lovely because my physical TBR makes me really sad because it is quite large. Seriously, I have 5 of these cubes that are my TBR, like the entire bottom row and 1 on the third. Anyway, with all of that said, I'm gonna go. Let me know what you'd like to read this month. You can like this video if you enjoyed it, you can subscribe, I upload weekly, and I will see you next time. Bye.